Hello, my name is Carl Morales, and I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever had to be rushed to the hospital? You guys ever been so sick you had to make a checkup with the doctor, or maybe just go for some medicine or something, you know? And well, in my experience, I have firsthand. I've gotten injured. I've had a clavicle injury, snapped it in half and everything. I've had a foot injury as well. And well, with all that came a bill I had to pay, this and that. And well, I had medical coverage and it basically paid for it. So that I'm very grateful for. And there's things like talks with relatives I've had about, like they had something happen to them and they didn't have no health insurance and they would have to pay out of pocket. And that just made me realize like, oh damn, like some people don't have it, this and that. And I'm gonna talk to you about like how it's a problem, and the solution to this would be free healthcare for the country. Here we have healthcare insurance coverage and how it's dipped down a bit in this case, as you guys can see. And first, we're going to start off with unaffordable medical bills. So what is health insurance? As most of you could already have a thought in your head about what it is, it's basically something that helps cover the cost of something medical related. And according to Kaiser Family Foundation, more than 3/4 of uninsured non-elderly adults say they are very or somewhat worried about paying medical bills if they get sick or have an accident. So like with this piece of evidence, like you could already imagine like, like they're worrying about all this and that while they're elders, which makes you think like, oh damn, like I need to get some health coverage for the future. You never know what comes along the way, and if something happens, something happens. Next up, we have how your health could be at risk. In this article, and what happens if you don't have health insurance? This article by Chris Kissel. He stated there's an estimated of 2 million medical devices available to treat health conditions, and it is estimated about 10% of Americans will use these devices at some point, according to the National Medical Association. So with this, it basically shows that like we have to care for our health, and with the insurance, we're gonna be able to easily obtain these devices to basically not have too much of a risk, our health at risk, and basically have a good, healthy life in the long term. Next, the third thing is family protection against events. So what this means is basically like, what if something happens to my father, the guy who's providing in the household, like what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna be okay, this and that? And just questions towards like the whole concept, like if that happens, then it affects the whole family in a way too. And in an article by Kaiser Low Income Coverage and Access Survey by Karen Schwartz, states uninsured parents face real health consequences when they delay care. And the entire family is affected when those delays cause a parent to remain ill or at home, which then eventually affects the family. And well, since he is the man of the household and he's the one that provides for us, it becomes hard because he's the main guy that brings to the family. And well, a solution to all this would be basically free healthcare for the for the whole country. And there's a similar country that, there's not similar, but there's another country out there that has free healthcare for all of its people, and that would be England. And in the article I was able to read, which is called The Pros and Cons of Universal Healthcare, aka Medicare for All. Simon Hughes states, by regulating the amount of money providers can charge for certain health services, the overall cost would decrease. And this would help adjust the cost of medications, and the patients would then benefit it, which also helps the economy in a way as well. And in conclusion, this ties up everything that I have to say about the medical coverage, this and that, how it have with not having no medical coverage, how it could affect our health risks, how it could like bring us on a downside on having to pay those expensive bills, and how it could affect the family. And in conclusion, that's all I have to say. And that from doing all this, like, you have to think about it like, oh yeah, I have healthcare, like you should be grateful, this and that. And I feel like it should be fair to everyone in this country to have healthcare, get the help they need, get everything settled, situated, have a good, healthy family for the long term. And that's why I feel like this should be pushed more in the country, and eventually everyone should get the help they need.